Alright, so we're going to work with intersecting parts. Start out with a rectangle tool and make a square. And it really doesn't matter the size, you just want to get that little square thing showing up. I'm going to make this 8 by 8. And then I'm going to lift up the thing with the push-pull tool and make it 8 foot also. Again, I don't care what size your square is, just cube is, just make it whatever. Now I'm going to make the circles that will end up being the holes for the dice that we're going to make. Do one flat on the surface, and then you want to turn it so that it's barely a line there. Look for the center and make another circle going vertically in there. Click on that circle and then hit the follow me tool. And then we're going to make that see-through so that we can erase the inside circle because we don't want that in there, creating problems later. Now we're going to select this and go to the move tool, and moving this is kind of difficult, and you're going to see that I'm going to flip around a little bit here. You want to get it on the blue, the green, or the red line when you're moving it. That's the easiest way to kind of figure out where you're at. And you can see here I'm going to have to rotate around several times to get this in the right spot, and it's kind of aggravating. But if you can get on those, red, green, and blue lines, it helps. And then you're going to have to rotate to make sure you're in to the surface here, so that sphere is halfway in. And I think I'm going to have to rotate around a little bit further here and see I'm not even close to being in this square or cube there. Now I'm about halfway in, and we'll see if I'm in the right spot. Looks like I'm still outside, so we'll try to pull that over. And this is the part that's going to take you the longest, is trying to get these things positioned, because it is kind of a pain. And now I'm going to go to the top and kind of try to place it in the middle of that corner instead of onto the one side like that. The next thing we're going to do is select that and resize it by hitting S for scale, because it's a little too big, so I'm going to take the size down, and now I'm going to have to move it over again to kind of get it in the center. And then we're going to select this and copy and paste it 2 more times. Move this up just a little bit so it's halfway. Select it and hit Command C to copy, Command V to paste. We're going to put one in the middle, and then Command V and paste and put one in the corner. And now we're going to move this around to try to make sure that they're in the right spot. So you can see they're floating above, so we've got to pull them down into the die. Now I've got to get the last one. Actually, I need to pull this down just a little bit more. And that's about at the same level as the other one. Once you have all of those in the right position, we're going to select these by using the select button and holding down, the select tool, and holding down shift as we're selecting them so that we can combine the top and the bottom. We're going to go up and do intersect faces with selection, and you'll notice it puts that circle around there. Then again, using the select tool, we're going to click on the top of the spheres, selecting them, and then hitting the delete button to take the top off. Sometimes you get something like that. It just means you haven't selected the whole thing. There you go. And we'll do that to all 3 of them. And then you're going to paint those holes The only problem is here in my demonstration, after I painted the top and the holes, I realized that the holes don't sink in because I still have a top surface on there. So I'm going to go to the select tool and take that top surface out so that the dimple of the holes is actually in there. So I'll just delete that, and then you can see the hole going down in, and then I'll color it again. Alright, the next thing we're going to work on is an eyeball. So the first thing we're going to do is make a circle, then rotate it, make another circle within it vertically so that we can make a sphere. We will click on the vertical circle and then hit the Follow Me tool. And then I'd like you to get the eraser and erase the inside circle. You may have to turn it on the see-through view, the X-ray view, to do that. And then once we have that done, we are going to make a rectangle. And I would suggest doing it on the red line because it's easier to make one that's a vertical rectangle instead of and I ended up making a square, I guess, instead of a flat horizontal rectangle. We want it up and down. And what we're going to do is insert it into the circle here, the sphere, to cut it in, well, a little less than half. And again, if you can get on your red, green, or blue lines as you move this, you have better luck getting it in there. And changing views sometimes is going to help you also. Alright, so I have it partway in there. What I'm going to do is bring it to the front now, a little bit forward of halfway. And then I am going to select both parts and do the intersect thing with them again. So I'm selecting the sphere and the rectangle. I'm holding Shift down when I do that. And then I'm going to go up and go to intersect faces and with selection. That creates that circle around through there, and then I'm going to erase the rectangle around it. This will be for the color of our eyeball, and then the next rectangle that we're going to put in here is going to be a little bit further in front of that, so that will be the black of the eyeball that we'll have. So once again, kind of get yourself positioned, go to the red line, put your rectangle on it, go up with it vertically again. Select it and then go to the Move tool, and then we're going to try to get it inside the sphere again. And again, you're better off getting on the red line and then turning it and moving it forward. And you just want it in front of the last rectangle. Now I need to get it into the sphere. Looks like I'm off to the side here. Now what happened is it is touching part of that, so when it's moving it's moving part of the sphere also. So I'm going to hit Command Undo and go back to where I was and try this again. Command Z is the undo. Okay, it looks looks like I need to put it down just a little bit so that I get the bottom part of the circle in there also. And then we're going to do the select thing again, once we're sure we have that in the right place. So we will select the sphere and the rectangle, holding down Shift while we do that. And then we're going to go to intersect faces, and you want to do with selection, so I must not have something selected correctly. Okay, we'll try with model and see how that works. And then erase the, and that seems to work fine. Now what you want to do is fill in some color on the eyeball. So we are going to go to the paint bucket and make the back part white, make the middle part blue, make the front part black. And honestly, it looks kind of like a dilated eye. It needs to be a little smaller in the front, but you get the idea. And that's how you can section off and put different colors on a single, object as you do it. You just have to cut a plane into it to create that.